Hi everybody, it's Tatiana and today I'm coming to do a book tag, and this is the Thank You Next book tag, and it was created by This Story Ain't Over. I will link her channel in the description box below. I have not looked at the questions for this, looked on my shelves to get the answers for this, so this will be interesting. We'll see how it goes. I was seriously just looking for book tags to do for videos for Vlogmas, you know, to fill in case I fell behind or didn't record a video that day, and this was one of the ones that I screenshot. So the tag, I watched the introduction to her tag because this is her original tag, and it's based on, or taken from, based on whatever, the song that Ariana Grande put out called Thank You Next. I have not heard the song. I've seen some of the memes and jokes about the song, but I have not listened to it in its entirety. We're gonna go on with the questions. There are 8 questions. So the first is, name a book that you said thank you next to, which means you DNF'd. And I don't DNF books often. I did DNF one book this year, and that is Death Doesn't Bargain by Sherilyn Kenyon. I got like maybe 10 pages into it, and again, that is not common for me. 10 pages into it and realized I just didn't care. And it's book 2 in a new series that she's writing with undead pirates that's set in the same world as the Dark Hunter world, with Acheron and Styx and Simi and all of them people, and I just didn't care, so I stopped reading and took it right back to the library. Question number 2 is just basically stating that you can answer the next 3 questions all in one book, with one book or separately. I'm going to try to answer them separately. So number 3 is, name a book that taught you love or a book you loved. So let's see. Okay, for that question, I am going to go with Instructions for Heatwave by Maggie O'Farrell. I think I do have a review for this. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description box below or in the cards if you want to check it out. This book kind of surprised me. It is, I think, more literary fiction, and I don't read a lot of literary fiction, but I found myself so drawn into these characters, and it's like a family saga story, and I got so much out of this, and the connection that the characters had to each other, even through some of their dysfunction and coming to learn more about the family. Yeah, I really, really loved this book, and it didn't necessarily teach me love, but it did show me how, especially if it's something that you've never really dealt with before, how family dynamics can be when the perceptions that your own family has of you are negative, and when none of you think really greatly of each other, and trying to still be family and figure out ways to work with each other and love on each other and show love in spite of that. So yeah, really like this. Question number 4, a book that taught you patience. That's easy. Tar Baby by Toni Morrison. Not to say that I did not like this, but a lot of times, often when I read a book, and I am sorry if there is any glare, my lighting in here is not going to change. It's going to stay horrible. I think the way I have it right now is a little better. But a lot of times when I read a story, I base my enjoyment, or the more I understand about a story as I'm reading it, the more I enjoy it. And if that's not happening, even if I finish it, I tend to disconnect from the story as I'm going along. With this book, I did not get all that was going on as I was reading it. However, there were little things here and there that would intrigue me or make me laugh. Some of the interactions between the husband and wife living on this island that took place, and then, you know, some of the things that you learn about them and their family dynamic with the help that they have, the servants basically, that they have who work at their house. And this was literally one of those books where I got to the last page, like closing the book, and read the last 3 sentences, and everything clicked into place. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I got it. And so this is, even though I don't like to DNF books, this was just encouragement to continue to be as kind and patient to books as I like to be, because after I finished this book, I was like, this is freaking awesome. So yeah. Question number 5 is, name a book that taught you pain. And I don't think for this question, I am going to go with For Every Black Eye, Revenge When Nothing Else Works by C.J. Hawthorne, or C.F. Hawthorne. This book is a revenge story that not only deals with the pain that's inflicted upon the main character and the pain that she inflicts as she goes about her revenge, but also the pain that she experiences and some of the people that she comes into contact experience with dealing with mental illness and mental health. And prior to reading this novel, I had not read a lot of stories that had to do with mental health and how scary it could be. I don't think that's the word I want to use, but how scary it can be for not only the people who are in relationship with the person who is suffering with their mental health, but also the person who is having to deal with their mental health issues. And yeah, yes, that's probably the deepest I've ever thought about this book. But yeah, awesome. Number 6, name a book that you loved at the time of reading, but in hindsight you do not like as much anymore, but which you still learned some other quality from. Okay, I had to go to the other side of the room for this one. I am going to go with The X-Files by Victoria Christopher Murray. When I first read this novel, I really enjoyed the dynamic of all the characters, the issues that it dealt with. If you're not familiar or haven't heard of this before, this deals with four women who are at different stages of their life as far as age as well as emotional development, and they're all exes, either ex-girlfriends or ex-wives, and they're brought together to be this like support group for each other in their situation, because they're all dealing with it in dealing with their situation in 4 different ways. And I really enjoyed it when I first read it. And then I read books 2, which was a novella, and book 3, and the characters got on my nerves. And I was like, well, was book 1 really that much better? And no. But what I still got from this was, I don't know if this is going to be a spoiler or not, depends on how I phrase it. But what this taught me is how much of a difference you can make in the life of someone who is having a difficult time. But even though you can make a difference in their life, it doesn't mean that the effect of you being there is going to bring about the results that you want it to bring. And so coming to the point where you have to give yourself, number 1, a break, and find within yourself some peace with the choices that the person that you have been in communication with and been in relationship with, the choices that they choose to make, and know that it was their choice and not something that says anything negative about you. I think I did that without spoiling anything. Question number 7, name a book you're currently talking to, i.e. have the hots for. And that is a book that I don't own yet, but I have already read, and that is An Unkindness of Ghosts by Rivers Solomon. I read that book and almost got so caught up in the technicalities of the scientific and medicinal things that are being discussed in that book, and the makeup of the generation ship that the people are living on, that I almost missed what I think the point of that book was. And I have a review of that as well that I'll link in the cards or put in the description box below. But I want to own that book because I want to like reread it ASAP and tab it and put sticky notes in it with my own thoughts in it. I have not written out my review of that I do for myself in my book journal, because I'm scared that if I write it, it will be a book in itself. So yeah, but that book I am hot under the collar for, so to speak. Question number 7. Name a book that gon' last. The book of you, or the book that helped you love yourself a little bit more. Now, okay. I don't even know how I'm going to answer this, and I'm not going to go across the room to get it. And for that, I am going to say the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I did not read that as a child. That series came out when I was an adult, and when I read book 1, I want to say book 3 was out, was the newest book that had come out on paperback. So yeah, I was a little behind even the start of the, you know, fad or fandom. What I appreciated a lot about that series, but particularly book 1, was having this main character who felt so, or actually was so set apart and ostracized from the people who he was in relationship with every day, and then finding a place where he felt like he belonged, and that place not being, you know, the person of notoriety or this famous person who lived, but the home that he found with his friends, and that, you know, small space of belongingness that he found. That is the end of the tag. Question 9 is to tag someone to do the tag. I am going to tag Jerry from Onyx Pages, because like literally you just uploaded a video and it's been, I feel like it's been months since you've uploaded a video. So do that. I am also going to tag Lady from Freeform Lady. Are you doing Vlogmas? If so, add this to your list. And I'm going to tag B from Books with B. But if you want to do this tag, by all means do it. I think these questions are really great questions. So yeah, that's all that I have for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.